Okay, 6:30. Thursday, February 19th. Calling the select board to order. Are there any additions or adjustments to the agenda as presented?
Is there an update on the HO invoice to the library?
No, but we can talk about that under issues and concerns.
Okay.
That one's on me. Invoices and orders are going around. Are there any comments from the public or public announcements?
Public comment?
Yeah, you got one?
Yeah, supposed to be Jesse here or Jackman, but I guess if you don't hear, but we're requesting.
Can you come up to the mic?
Yes.
Microphone mic.
We're requesting that Johnson Eats be the fiscal agent for a grant we're applying for. That would allow us to upgrade our point of sale system and accept WIC.
There's a grant that the store wants.
Yes, but we need a fiscal agent, and we thought Johnson Eats could do it.
Johnson Eats can't do their committee. It would be the town, right?
I read a little bit about the requirements. It seemed like a committee that's appointed by the select board could be. If it can't be, would anyone else want to do it?
Well, I got an email on that. And
Yeah.
when I got the email, I didn't think I had time, to put something together.
Yeah.
And my recommendation was LCPC.
Yeah, and she reached out to LCPC, and I don't think that Pat got back to her.
I thought you said it has to be a municipality.
It could be a municipality, yeah.
Okay.
What's the deadline on the grant?
I think it's awarded on the 8th, but it was already submitted, I believe, with the hope that they would allow whoever is the fiscal agent to be decided after. I'm not the one writing it, the health department's writing it.
I think it was more like Johnson Eats was going to work with Mike to go after the grant and apply if the select board approves.
Right.
Because at their meeting, they just had approved that they would work with Mike to go after the grant.
Gotcha.
I feel like I'm a step behind you. What is the grant for?
Me too. We got approached by the Department of Health, wanting to help us do this like very, very last minute. The grant is to help us buy a point of sale system, and the new point of sale system, because the one we have right now doesn't allow us to accept WIC because they don't work with the WIC program. So this new point of sale would allow us to accept WIC. Basically.
Yeah, okay, it just seems odd. The health department is coming to you to say you need a new point of sale system.
Mm-hmm. Well, because it's the person that is at the health department that approached us is in charge of the WIC program. And we've been working on trying to get WIC since we opened. We're on month 10 of trying to do this.
So they approached you about a grant, but they won't allow you to apply for it yourself.
Apparently, that's what the person at the health department says. We need a fiscal agent.
Allow for the funds to come to you.
Right. They would accept the grant on our behalf and on our behalf, or they would accept the grant and then pass the money to us. Yeah. All new to me. I have no idea what's going on. I just know we really want WIC.
Town would be a pass-through agent.
Right.
It did list municipality as being one of the qualified fiscal agents.
Sort of
Well, I would think that would be a preference to run it through the town of money in Rosemary's hands.
Well, Johnson Eats money comes through me, too, so it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Rosemary handles all the money.
A lot of times I think grants want to run through a municipality, because you've got that accountability, everything goes would oversee the funds, and if there's any issues or concerns, then they can come back to the town. Whereas if they give the money to a private individual, then you're not going to have that tracking.
Right. So the deal is you want us to write the grant and give you the money?
No, the health department, lady at the health department's writing the grant. We would literally just need somebody to say, yeah, I'll be the fiscal agent, receive the grant if we are awarded it, and then give us the money.
I'd like to see the grant paperwork in the grant first. All right. What's the source of the grant?
I believe it's a federal grant and it's for the health, I forget the name of it, but it's geared towards the health sector.
That's another reason why it needs to come to municipalities, federal money.
Right.
Yeah. Learning.
Your deadline's the 8th.
I think that's like, I think we've already submitted and we'd have to make like an adjustment to who is the fiscal agent, or we'd have to list that after. I honestly don't know what.
What would the board like to do?
So you need a decision tonight.
No,
Okay, see, that's
Yeah.
I answer questions here.
yeah, exactly. I'll email all the relevant info that I have. And can list the contact at the health department that's helping us. See if they have any information.
Sounds good.
And if
Yeah.
not, then we'll try again the next time and I'll try to stay on top of it more than, I think we had a 6-day notice. And I wasn't gonna say no when somebody was trying to reach out to help us with an issue that we've been trying to solve, so. And I understand this is very last minute.
Well,
I am as shocked as you are.
if for some reason, like you need us to make a decision before our next meeting, maybe reach out to us with what information you can provide and we can attempt to do what we can before our meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Next meeting being March 2nd.
March 2nd, okay.
Yeah,
That's our next regular meeting.
next regular meeting, yes.
Good timing, all right.
All right, thank you, Mike.
Thanks for the
Anything else from the public? Hearing none, seeing none, select board updates, issues or concerns. I have one for the board. I guess I kind of want thought process. We're in an interlocal kennel agreement with Hyde Park. And I believe there's another kennel that's offered to be that interlocal group kennel with a lower fixed cost, but the feeding and animal care at night have to look a little different. I don't see much of a choice, but basically, another town in the interlocal has said that they don't want to go forward with it. And we just need to know if we're willing to continue the interlocal at a reduced fixed cost, but most likely an increased animal care cost.
Can attach any kind of numbers to that? Or-
If the overall is $1,000 a month. 12,000 total, but if it's 4 towns, that's only 3,000. Really, fixed cost. Right now we pay 54 fixed cost, something in that neighborhood.
Yeah, it's over $1,000.
Is it?
I mean, a quarter.
Quarter, yeah.
The bill's in the pocket. You want to know exactly.
So there's one of the towns in the current agreement is opting not to go with this one, is that?
Correct.
Okay.
Relatively small population town.
Mhm.
Anybody having issues? We're required to have a kennel anyways. I don't see how there's much, but
We don't really have any other choice.
the other choice is to go it alone or find a different setup.
Okay.
I'll continue with that
In
then.
favor.
Wonderful. Any other issues, updates, concerns from the board?
This is not really anything we can act on or do anything about tonight, but I'm concerned that I've seen a couple local businesses close recently and some restaurants, and I don't know what we can do about that, but I just want us to keep in the back of our mind if any opportunities arise to anything in our power that we can do, we should act on if anything arises, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not good news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, did these businesses cite their reasons for closing or?
I think just a lack of business maybe, but I don't know for sure.
I think I heard that moves was, it had to do with like landlord issues and the condition of the building.
Okay.
Was it another one?
Well, there's been some good amount of turnover.
Bubble tea.
The bubble tea closed, something else has gone there now, which is good, but it's been a good amount of turnover. Yeah.
Restaurant industry's tough, but
Mhm.
I agree with you. There's something we can. Anything else from the board? Okay, next up, we have the consent agenda. And for the public's information, the consent agenda is approving the minutes from February 2nd, as well as approving a liquor license renewal for Marsala Salsa Restaurant and Bar LLC.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to discuss the minutes of February 2nd. If you want to have a motion first and then have discussion, or you want me to bring it up before?
Might as well make a motion second and further discussion.
Okay.
Move we approve the consent agenda.
Okay,
Second.
further discussion?
I was looking under the portion of the library, and I made a statement at the end, and I don't seem to find it. I made the statement, this whole library project has turned into a big boondoggle, and it's nowhere to be found. And I would like it inserted into the minutes, please.
I guess I didn't feel like that was a super important statement, but I
Well,
think it is.
It is. It's turned into a boondoggle.
So you'd ask,
And I'd like it as part of the public record.
Well, if the board agrees to that, sure.
you'd ask for the minutes to be amended, or do you just want to make sure it's in this meeting's minutes?
I'd rather have it amended.
Okay, the motioner and the seconder, are you okay with that addition amendment?
Yes,
Sounds like something you would have said, so yeah.
I recall Mike saying that.
Okay, I guess. Motion or seconder yet? Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Right.
All those opposed?
Thank you, board. Appreciate
The
it.
ayes have it. Rosemary, anything for us?
I just have a question for the board. Now that you've changed the holidays regarding town meeting, it's no longer a holiday. Do you want the office to be open?
You're not gonna be here.
Susan and I will be at town meeting.
So will John,
I think the office should be closed.
but the village employees will be here.
I had a village employee ask me if we're gonna be closed.
I can,
No, it should be open.
I agree.
what are you two agreeing for, man? This is new.
It's not new.
You,
No, I think we should be closed because one of the workers is a town employee, so she won't be able to come to town meeting day.
well, there's plenty of vacation time.
Huh?
We do have a pretty generous combined time off policy. If somebody, I don't think we're allowed to deny somebody that wants to take vacation on town meeting day to,
You should be.
But
We thought if we want the employee to be at town meeting, that's sort of their work for the day.
yeah,
So even though the office is open, they can be elsewhere.
yes, but we can't leave the office without any workers in it.
It'd be a village worker, right?
there will definitely,
Unless they take time off.
at the very least, there'll be two village employees.
Yes.
Well, there's only be one left in the office, that's a town employee and one village employee.
Traditionally in Vermont, hasn't it been the tradition to encourage operations to be closed to boost attendance in town decision making?
Well, we have one
But
town employee that does not live in Johnson.
we have a few,
Yeah,
but,
But
in
they,
the office, that is.
they should be part of their town meeting in their town then.
so are you saying that instead of giving 13 holidays, we should have given 14?
I don't think it should be a holiday. I think that.
It was a holiday.
Well, yeah. I'm not saying adding another holiday. I'm saying that worker work at town meeting day.
Like actually accomplishing work or just attending town meeting day as another paid day while they're not doing.
I think working town meeting day, because Rosemary's not going to be here, so I think we should have other employees learning the process for when she won't be here anymore.
Why'd you have to put this question in front of us?
Because I got asked it, and I said,
Show of hands, who would like the office to stay open on town meeting day, being that it is not a holiday? Okay. Who would like it closed? Okay,
I mean, it could stay open if the village wants to keep it open.
Well, the village will follow suit with whatever the town does. I'm sure.
guess it stays open. Unless everybody takes vacation. If they want to value going to town meeting, I have to take a vacation day to go to town meeting. Yeah.
Can
I guess if,
write a-
if everybody takes the vacation day, it has to be closed. Nobody here,
Right.
huh?
Can I write a letter to your company? Encourage them to give you the day off?
You can waste your time if you. Okay. Any other zingers, Rosemary?
no, I think enough. A meeting is enough.
Okay,
And I want to thank the board for the dedication for the town report.
the board wants to thank you for everything you've done. I'll save that for later. Next up, Carl, hot seat. How are you?
Good. You?
Good.
Still here.
Did we do the,
We did, under the consent agenda.
All right, I guess I'll start with going through the SEDS report. I put a copy at your seat. Sort of hit some of the highlights for people that are here and people that might be watching the meeting. So first, the NBRC grant in the industrial park, the quarterly report was submitted on time on January 28th. From our bi-weekly team meetings, the last meeting, it was reported that we're still waiting on 4 state permits, the same 4 that have been listed in the report in prior months. And just this evening, about 5:30, I got an email from the state saying that there was some activity on the stormwater operation report at the last team meeting. The engineers reported they have been in conversation with the people reviewing that permit, and a question that the state had about the source protection area for drinking water, that's been addressed. And so it looks like maybe that operation permit for stormwater is moving ahead. I did send out the letter to the owners of the property that have a shed that crosses over the property line and is partly on the town's industrial park property. Had a conversation with one of the owners, and he doesn't have any issue with the letter, and is glad to hear that the town's moving ahead with the industrial park. He sees it as an opportunity. Perhaps he could get that house that he has there connected to the village sewer system using that new sewer line. And also, if possible, he might build another house on the other side of that existing one. And that would also, you would try to tie that into the line in your new road. And today, a letter went out to the butters. That was a letter just to notify them that the town has applied for permits, and we sent them an aerial photo showing the location of the industrial park and their property, and invited them to contact us and come to the office and see the plans if they have any questions. You had received 2 memos from me for your packet, and then also an email on, I think, Tuesday. We'll go over those after the SEDS report. The Building Communities Grant Recreation, the Welcome Center, the improvements except the painting have been completed. The lease agreement that you approved at your last meeting in January was submitted to the you approved that on February 2nd meeting, and that was submitted to the Rail Trail office at V-Trans. We have not heard back from them yet.
That's another project, Mr. Chairman, that started out small and has turned into a big to-do.
I'm relaying a message here from the Rail Trail Committee. It seems that their membership is down to 6 out of 9 authorized members. And do you recall, did the select board accept Peggy Williams' resignation back in the fall?
Oh, we did.
I believe we did.
All right, well, that's, I do recall from the chairman about her resigning because she moved away, I think. But he would like to see if some advertising could be done to solicit additional members. He said they're finding it hard to conduct business because with only 6 members now, if 2 people happen to be absent from the meeting, that they don't have a quorum to officially conduct business.
Yes, but John, could you work with Lydia to post all vacant seats for all the committees and commissions? She should have a spreadsheet of active members that's hopefully uploaded.
All right, thank you. The VORIC grant, what funded the rail trail connector scoping study, town did receive the reimbursement of that. You were awarded $27,700 and your expenses came to $27,669.99. And apparently that's what was paid to the town. The Recreation Economy for Rural Communities grant, that's the EPA Technical Assistance Grant. It's been a lot of activity. So on January 29th, the EPA's Planning Assistance Team held their introductory call for online meeting with the Johnson Steering Committee. And then on February 5th, that Planning Assistance Team held its peer convening, which was a nationwide meeting. All the 25 grantees were invited to have several people attend. And it was a 4-hour meeting. And during that meeting, they had presentations by prior year grantees to talk about their work that they did and what success they're starting to see. So that was held on February 5th. And back in December, I was asked to submit what EPA called the scheduler. It was like a poll to see what meeting dates might be good for EPA's assistance team to come here and conduct the community workshop, which is like the key point in this process. So we submitted that, and then EPA got back to us and asked how about sometime during the week of August 24 to 28, 2026. I polled the Johnson Steering Committee members to find out what 2 days would be best, and it turns out it was Thursday and Friday, the 27th, 28th. We submitted that to EPA, and they've confirmed that. So mark your calendars. These are two important dates, Thursday, the 27th and Friday, the 28th of August. That's it. So the first day, the steering committee will take the planning assistance team around the various sites in town to help that team sort of conceptualize what Johnson has or what challenges they might face with various recreation facilities. And then the next day will be a full day of meetings where the general public is invited, but also the steering committee is supposed to make an attempt to invite specific interested and resources to the meeting. So that might be where somebody like Jackie Casino from the Rail Trail program comes to meet with everybody. And very recently, like just this week, I received an email about that planning assistance team wanting to schedule the first 3 online meetings with the steering committee. And so this evening, before coming up here, I got an email out to your steering committee members and asked them about what nights they would want to meet. And I've suggested that they plan to start meeting every 2 weeks because that there is some significant work that needs to be done between those 3 calls with the planning assistance team.
Sorry, what does PAT stand for?
Planning assistance team.
Okay.
All right, the Vermont Community Foundation grants, the playground money is got tied to the Legion Field study or analysis because it was determined that using that money for the playground at Legion Field would be the best use. For the second Legion Field meeting, Isabel Sullivan did provide some good information for everybody to see. She had from a vendor, she had actual pictures of playground equipment complete with dimensions so that you could see, okay, if you bought this product, you need to have an area 30 feet by 23 feet, for example. And it was products that were geared towards the younger children rather than, say, the 5 to 12-year-old cohort. Because apparently that's the feeling that that's the need here in Johnson, that at Old Mill Park, you do have equipment already for older kids. The skateboard park money, $3,300. I have a question for you. Maybe you have a discussion tonight about the skate park RFP. Is that planning to use this $3,300 or is that something completely different?
It's the DR 4720 reimbursement FEMA money.
Oh, so that's you're looking at using the FEMA money and what you're talking about tonight.
Maybe that gets looped in with it. I don't know.
Some of this, I think, has already been spent.
Now, my question is, if the bids come in higher than the FEMA money, Carl, do you think that 3,300 can be used as part of that project?
Well, I would think so, but it's been about 7 months since I spoke with somebody from VCF about what that $3,300 was intended for, and off the top of my head, I can't say if there was a specific use or some conditions that would prohibit combining it with the FEMA money. So we could check on that, John. Thank you. All right, the Legion Field, the second meeting was held on February 4th, and it, I think, was another good meeting with the public. There was very thoughtful input provided, and I think it was just a show that you get some people together who have an open mind and are respectful. You you have a good product. So I was pretty encouraged by that meeting. So the next step is for Dubois and King to prepare another layout based on the comments received, and that layout would be presented to you. And then the select board needs to then say, okay, this is our final plan. And we need that so that we know what improvements are to be made at Legion Field. So once you make that decision, then somebody's going to need to look at that and say, okay, you need to do this first, this second. You can't do number 3 because 4, 1 and 2, because then you'll be disturbing 3 when you go back to do step 1.
Is there a deadline for using those funds?
Those deadlines have passed.
Okay,
We're getting by on DCF's leniency right now.
okay.
But I think that if they asked or they would see what's going into this, I think they would be very pleased.
Okay, maybe we could send them the final draft once it's
Yeah.
finished. Okay.
All right, and Holmes Meadow, the first construction invoice from Boulder was submitted 2 days ago. On January 30th, there was a site inspection. John and I attended with people from SLR, Boulder, and LCPC. We visited both Holmes Meadow and then went over to the gravel pit so that SLR could point things out and we could ask questions. So everything seemed to be good there. And then later, SLR submitted their last inspection report for the winter. And so that, in summary, read that the excavating and the hauling of sediment from the meadow was completed. And at that time, the final grading was underway. The hauling the necessary sediment to the landfill was completed. And Boulder was hauling fill to the library, which I think we knew, but there was a question about who was working with it there, and it turns out it was Boulder. They apparently volunteered to do something there, probably so that they could start hauling fill over there or complete the hauling of fill there. There is a change order, number 4, that's been presented. There were some questions raised. Evan asked to be sure that the grant was going to cover the additional expense. And I just learned late this afternoon that Vermont Emergency Management has okayed that grant amendment or adjustment, but the Agency of Administration still has to sign off on it, and that has not come through yet. So I would ask that you, based on what Evan's position was, that you defer or postpone action on that and probably have it on the next agenda.
What was the reason for that change order?
That's for the extra extraction and hauling of gravel out of the pit.
Wouldn't you say the engineer should be responsible for that? They were the ones that were supposedly figuring out how much material was over there, correct?
I don't know that. I don't know how it was determined how many cubic yards of gravel were in the pit to be hauled out. The LCPC staff did tell me that experience with other cells within the pit was taken into consideration, but as it turns out, the ledge was not at the same depth in the area where they did all this extraction as it was in other parts of the pit. So the sand and gravel, or just gravel, I'm not sure what you have there, just ran deeper.
Well, I got a whole pile of bills from engineers. You would think with the amount of money we were spending with these engineers that we might have a little bit better product.
I don't know, did they do any test borings,
Another question, this engineering stuff, this is all a pass through, right? Or is the town paying for all of this? Okay. Well, I've got a question a little bit later on some of these bills from the engineer and from the Vermont County Planning Commission. It looks like we paid one of them twice. But I'll take that up later.
Okay.
All right, and also on March 2nd, you probably will be asked to take a couple of actions regarding a second grant for the Holmes Meadow project. And it's a $130,000 grant called a Clean Water Service Provider Grant from the Agency of Natural Resources. Does the board know about this?
It's not ringing a bell for me at all.
I think LCPC had mentioned that before.
Right. Well, that would make sense because the grant is actually awarded to LCPC on the town's behalf for this project. So one of the documents that you will be asked to approve is something called a site access license. And basically, you're the property owner and you're agreeing that people from LCPC and the state can go on the property to do certain maintenance work and inspections. And then the other document is a grant agreement, like a sub-grant agreement with LCPC. So I think that that's going to be presented to you on March 2nd. So that's the highlights of the written report that I gave you. Any questions?
Oh, for the Vorak rail trail connector scoping study, was this money just for the scoping study, or are you saying like we have this money to spend on improvements?
No, the 27,700 was just to conduct the scoping study.
Okay.
So now if you want to work on improvements,
Okay.
you'd have to seek other funding. And in the report that VHB provided, they did list some grant funding opportunities.
Okay, just making sure. You're gonna be done at the end of the month, right?
I've said before
That's
that I would be
when-
done at the end of March, but I have told John that if you still don't have somebody and you want me to stay around, I will. I've been trying to make some adjustments so that this works better for me.
Yeah.
I'm not driving up here quite as often because in the wintertime, it's at least an hour and 15-minute drive one way.
Yeah.
And so far, so working online has been working out to attend meetings.
Okay. I just asked that because I'm wondering if you think you'd be able to submit the Act 250 permit for the granite stairs before that date.
I would really like to
Okay.
get back to that so that we get that permit right away and then could get some quotes for doing it.
Right.
Yeah, because
Okay.
it's just, yeah. It's
Okay.
taking me about 30 times longer to do the Act 250 permit than it'll take the contractor to do the
Oh my
work.
gosh, it's ridiculous. Okay. And for these two library grants, do you know when those they received those or received the notification of award?
I don't recall.
Okay, it's been a while though,
Yeah.
maybe?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
All those have been issued quite some time ago.
Okay. Got it.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I have a question for Carl and Noel, seeing you're sitting there. What's that? This has to do with the Mumley's engineering for the industrial park. Daylands surveying, flagging, staking for tree clearing. Were you with them when they did that? How long do you think it would take to do that?
Can't estimate the amount of trees they were looking at.
$2,500 seems like a lot of money.
So what they were actually doing is marking the right-of-way area for the road and the utilities on those two roads. And also the outline of the stormwater lot. Days surveying didn't actually mark trees. The Vermont Land Trust came in and marked trees that they are interested in.
But on the invoice, it does say day land surveying with an invoice, flagging, staking for tree clearing, $2,500.
Right, that's right, they're getting that.
In the area is gonna be cleared.
Right, I get it. Seeing you kind of qualified it. So at first blush,
Oh,
looking at this, it looks like a tremendous
oh,
amount
that
of money
they were marking
for
trees.
staking some trees.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
So do we have anything for Holmes Meadow, or are we on to the industrial park? If we're holding on change order 4, I think we're good with Holmes Meadow.
Yes.
There's no action tonight, Mr. Chairman.
On the industrial park, I think there may be.
On the industrial, right. So on the industrial park, let's deal with Mumley's contract first. It's what did I do? So Mumley's contract, there are 2 matters. First is the approval of the extension for a revision to their original contract. There was background. The first contract with Mumley was done in 2023, I think actually to help the town get the NBRC grant prepared and then to start the engineering of the project there. Then in about October of 24, it was decided that revisions needed to be made and meetings were being held. And then on December 16th of 24, it was presented to the select board, and the select board voted to approve the revisions and authorized somebody to sign it. I forget right now what the minute said, if it was town administrator and chairman or just the town administrator. But apparently that document never got passed around and got fully signed. I've searched everywhere. I've talked to people. Nobody seems to have a complete signature. So our request tonight is that the board vote to affirm that action from December 16th of 2024 to approve the revision dated December 11th, 2024. And then the second item regarding Mumley's contract is a change order for the work done on the Highland Heights sewer pump station. So wastewater from the industrial park will go under Route 15 and go to the pump station at Highland Heights.
Mhm.
There was concern about its capacity to handle the additional flow that might come from the industrial park. Going back to those those December 16, 24 meeting minutes, it was reported that there was a meeting that day of staff people where this was, among other things, with having to do with the village's utilities was discussed, and those minutes mentioned that one of the possibilities was there was going to need to be a $50,000 emergency power generator located there. Mumley started working on the analysis of that pump station, and your January 20th, 2025 select board minutes mentioned that they were, Mumley was working on that. And then shortly after, Mumley submitted 2 invoices, which the select board voted to approve on April 21st. But at that time, it was noted that that work was beyond the scope of services, which it is. That original scope of services that I mentioned before specifically excludes from the amount of money being charged to work on water and sewer systems. So you did receive 2 invoices and you voted to have them paid, and they were paid, and Mumley held the 3rd invoice for $585. They've never submitted that yet. So the total of the 3 invoices together would come to $1,965. And I would suggest that you approve a change order with Mumley in that amount for those 3 invoices for the work they did, analyzing that pump station and then recommending a solution, which the village has accepted. And it's what the plans are being based on right now. So their work was very cost beneficial to the town.
To the tune of $45,000,
Yeah.
Give or take.
give or take.
You want to make a motion?
Be happy to make a motion. You want 2 separate motions?
Pretty much just need to approve a change order, right?
One motion to approve the change order, and then one motion, if you would please, to affirm your board decision from December 16, 24.
Oh, I'll take them in order. Move to reaffirm the select board's vote on December 16, 2024 to approve the Mumley Engineering Industrial Park Engineering Services Agreement revision dated December 11, 2024, and to authorize the town administrator, John Sutherland, to sign it.
I'll second.
Motion and second, further discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed,
Nay.
the ayes have it. Who wants the second one?
You're on a roll.
I'm on a roll. Okay.
Doesn't want to steal.
Move to approve a change order in the amount of $1,965 to cover Mumley's analysis of the pump station and suggestion to address the concern about its capacity. So,
Second.
Motion and second, further discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed,
Nay.
and the ayes have it. I don't know what you're.
Thank you.
Is that from the agenda packet? You're reading that from?
yep.
Okay.
It's right here. But anyway,
Then I also sent you an email, I'm sorry, a memo regarding the industrial park. Yeah, with some
and
documents.
this has to do with the easements.
Hmm?
You're looking for the motion for the easements?
Right, so there's a conservation easement for the deer wintering area over the Prindle lot. And work on that conservation easement is still in progress, although in the copy that I did receive from David Rue, the attorney working on it now, does show to me that they've made some changes with since the original was sent out by Fish and Wildlife. But it's still not complete. But to get things moving along, he suggests that you adopt that motion to authorize the advertising of the conveyance of that conservation easement. And I provided you with, or I sent you an email with his suggested motion, cut and pasted into that email. You should have that.
There's actually 2 of them.
There's a motion for each of the 2 notices, one for the deer wintering and one for the prime ag soils.
They're 2 different town lots. Who wants to take this one?
Well, I don't have the language
I
from.
move to approve the notice of the
Okay.
sale of municipal real estate and conveyance of grant of a grant of development rights and conservation restrictions to the State Agency of Natural Resources on the town's 25.1 acre so-called Prindle lot, subject to final review and approval by the town's attorney to mitigate the impact of the town's industrial park project on deer wintering habitat as part of Act 250 permit for said project, and to authorize, this is where it gets weird, Select Board Chair Evan Patch or Town Administrator John Sutherland to execute the notice. grant and any other instruments necessary or advisable for issuance of the Act 50 permit and closing on the grant.
Second.
Did an attorney write that or what? That's a motion.
Second.
All right. Anybody else want to make a comment? We're not actually selling the lot for anybody that's listening to this. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? And the ayes have it.
The next one is in regards to the Gomo lot. In regard to prime ag soils, and so just this week I learned something that I need to explain to you, make sure that you're aware of it. So on the second page of that memo from February 13th, towards the top, I say that Johnson would need to set aside 5.2 acres of prime ag soils. However, setting aside 5.2 acres on the Gomo lot would require an expensive survey. And previously, the board had said, let's avoid the cost of the survey. It'd be cheaper to pay the mitigation fee of the balance needed of 0.85 of an acre. Until this week, nothing had really been said to me about 6.1 acres. I just assumed that when they were talking about there's the 4.35 acres there that are easily identifiable, that was all the area between the road and the stream and the pond. As it turns out, that's not the case. There's 6.1 acres between the road and the stream and the pond, which are easily describable, and you don't need a survey to describe. And apparently between the state agency of agriculture and the attorney, they've concluded that they're going to have to have you issue that declaration of covenant on the entire 6.1 acres. And you still avoid having to do a survey. And considering what the purpose of the Gomo lot is, I don't know that makes any difference. I don't know if you have any plans to go develop any part of that property there. So I don't think it makes any difference.
0.4 acres of it. Especially not 0.4 acres of it. That's the difference.
So do we not have to pay the difference now?
You still have to pay the difference because that difference between the 4.35 that you needed, or that's there in prime ag soils and the 6.1, that they're not prime ag soils. So you still have to pay that mitigation fee of roughly $3,200.
You want to make the
Yeah,
motion?
it's coming and going.
Oh, yeah, it's a
That's just-
it's a cash cow, that's what it is.
You want to make the motion? Somebody?
Sure. Just never ends.
You ready to do it? You're gonna do it?
Go ahead, Paul.
Flip a coin.
Motion to approve the notice of sale of municipal real estate and conveyance of a declaration of restrictive covenant in favor of the Vermont Agency of Agriculture and Vermont Land Use Review Board on a 4.35.
6.1.
6.1.
No, I think he wrote that the way that he wants it.
Okay. So it says 4.35, not 6.1 acres.
Okay, let's say 6.1. That way it's covered. If it turns out to be less than,
Yeah. Okay. So on a plus or minus 6.1 acre portion of the town's so-called Goma lot, subject to final review and approval by the town's attorney to mitigate the impact of the town's industrial park project and development of the plus or minus 2.6 acres of prime agricultural soils, and to authorize the select board chair Evan Patch or town administrator John Sullivan to execute the notice declaration and any other instruments necessary or advisable for issuance of the Act 250 permit and reporting of the declaration.
This motion, is there a second?
Yes.
Further discussion?
Couple questions. It talks about making sure it's hayed and brush hogged every 2 years. How do we keep track of that and know that somebody needs to do it and who does it? Okay. And what does it mean, right to farm? A right to farm covenants?
I think that it's something that needs to be in deed so that future owners know that that's the case, and including if you do subdivide, that there could be farming activity on the other parcel where this prime ag soil is in the covenant.
So it means that some subsequent owner, the current owner or subsequent owner has a right to farm that.
And right, and that the neighbors, if you were to, let's say, subdivide the Gomo lot,
Mhm.
and the part that's not subject to the declaration of covenant, that those people would be aware that there could be farming activity on the part that's got the covenant on it.
Good.
Thank you.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Yeah.
The ayes have it.
And last issues for the industrial park, the tree removal. So our deadline for getting the trees down is April 14th. And during the winter, we were contacted by the Agency of Transportation and their partner in the project, the Vermont Land Trust, about their need for some, I'll call them whole trees. So a length of about 25 feet of tree trunk with the root ball attached. They have seemed to be interested in this, as I indicated before. They've gone so far as to go out there and mark trees that they want. And they told me that there was 113 trees, and about 75% of that number are in the town's work area. So the area that the town needs to get cleared so that you can do the road and utility work and put in the stormwater treatment area. A local contractor logger is interested in doing that work for the town and has been helpful, providing some insights and a cost estimate, just so everybody gets an idea what this might cost. I have been providing the information to AOT and VLT that they've asked for. I sent an email today to ask if they've got any reaction, anything that I could relay tonight, and I didn't hear back from them. So my questions for the select board are first, shall we continue the discussions with AOT and Vermont Land Trust? Or do you just want to try doing this on our own? Second question is, do you approve of the idea of not planning to have this work reimbursed by the NBRC grant? And as stated in the memo, those bidding and contracting requirements can be onerous, and they would take more time to prepare the specifications. If the target audience, the contractors that we think would be interested in doing that kind of work saw that red tape, they might not even want to bid. That's my feeling. And then Pat Ripley agreed, and I provided a statement from the email he sent in the memo there, that he agrees that the town would be better served avoiding the NBRC procurement requirements in this case. And so I want to know if you are okay with that. And then third is about proceeding with the bidding. we could start writing bidding specifications with two options. Option one being contractor is going to provide a price just to clear the area that the town needs to have cleared for the road and the utilities and the stormwater pond. And then the other option would be to pull or harvest the trees marked by Vermont Land Trust and give three prices. A price for pulling the trees that are marked in the town's road and stormwater area. Then a price for cutting or removing all the remaining trees. And then the third price would be for pulling the roughly 30 trees or so that are on building lots. That way we would have a breakdown so we could say to the state, this is what you owe the town for this. And my example that they would, the state would owe the town for the price for work in A and C. So by using the two options approach, we could get this going. And if AOT that says, oh, you know, we're not interested, or you don't like the prices that come in with option two, we could just go with option one. At least then you would have the prices.
Would you have three options instead of just two? Why wouldn't you just have pulling trees regardless of where they are and then cutting?
Yeah, I was thinking to break it down by the area that the town needs to have cleared. So, and what trees would be pulled or harvested from the app state.
He's gonna pay for it anyway.
Hmm?
But if they're pulling, the state's gonna pay for it.
The state's gonna pay for it. That's why that would be, the pulling of those trees would be one item. And then cutting everything else would be the second item, which the town would pay for. And then the third was pulling the roughly 30 trees or so that are on the building lots. And it's
Why one and three aren't together?
just in case, but we need to have those trees in the work area removed. So maybe the state says, well, we'll just have those pulled in your work area and forget those others.
Okay, got it.
And then if that's the case, the town doesn't care, the town doesn't need to have those trees removed.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
It's remarkable that anything is done in this state. Really. It is maddening. Years ago, they had just gone in there and clear cut the place and built a place. We have been working on this for like 15 years, this whole project. And it just goes on and on and on. It is just wears you down. It's just crazy.
Is the board okay with Carl's recommended bidding approach? Do you need a motion for that?
I don't need
Options?
a motion, I guess.
I have a question, Carl. And your first question was, shall we proceed with conversations with AOT and PLT? Is there any reason not to?
At some point, we have to tell them, we've got to move, we've got to get this out to bid, which we could do still without having a clear answer from them. But at some point, we're going to have to say, this is it, we've got to award a contract to somebody so that the contractor can start work and get the trees down by the 14th of April.
Yep.
I would tell them we need an answer pretty soon.
And we've talked about that. They've acknowledged time is of the essence. So I gather that now, since the information that I've been supplying, that they're trying to figure out if this is from a cost standpoint, a good way for them to proceed with getting the trees that they need.
Okay. Do we all want to proceed with Vermont Land Trust and AOT? If it works out, if not, well, or just cut everything down. Don't need to pull a thing then.
I'll second that one. Cut every stinking tree down. Act like.
And you're okay with doing it, as I said, on the town's dime and not seeking the grant reimbursement?
We're not pulling them. It'd be a lot cheaper, right?
Oh, yes. Yes.
I don't think time wise we have enough time personally.
Yeah, I think we should agree with all the
Okay,
Are you good with that?
Get it over with the quickest way we can.
Sounds like you got a yes from all five.
okay, then I'll get started on drafting the bidding specifications.
Okay,
Thank you for wading through all of these and making it so clear.
Hmm?
Thank you for wading through all the stuff and making it so clear. It's not there.
Somebody has to, they've made it so difficult on purpose, you have to have an expert to get around.
So, I'm sorry, everybody, want me to initial these copies of the notice for your information,
so do I initial?
it's the notices that the board.
Yeah, but where would I initial?
So by your name down there.
What is this sign? Do I have to initial?
The S means signed by every patch. So that's what I'll send to the newspaper tomorrow.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I need this, right?
Just for your
Nice.
initials. Just for the record.
You're gonna make the newspaper.
Oh,
So, yeah, I'll send these to the newspaper tomorrow for publication next.
It's in the newspaper, ask you for.
Notices have to be posted in 3 places in town. And that is in the process of being completed.
thank you very much. Next up, beautification.
Question for Carl.
Question away.
Related to item 15 on the agenda, job description for community economic development specialist. Have you seen the draft? Carl?
Yes, now.
No, he has not.
No.
Um,
I'm gonna present it to the board, get their
Mhm.
input on it, review with Carl.
okay.
Like,
That'd be
today's the
interest-
first-
I'll be
Today's the first
interested.
time I've seen Carl in a while, and he was really busy.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. I'll be interested in your thoughts.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay,
all right, thank you.
beautification committee
Safe
grant
drive.
application. Is this even really us?
What? Is what really is?
I mean, the way I read it was,
It's for letting the beautification committee apply for the grant.
oh, but it's not on a town property.
Right.
It's just the
It's-
town committee.
Yep.
Yeah, I got a,
Grant for what?
For doing a mosaic project at the Village Cold Spring.
Well, the village hasn't approved that yet.
They have.
They approved it the other night?
Yeah.
The beautification committee does a great job at communicating with the village. I think they're just asking for, I was looking for the paper. And the amount is $15,000 with no match from the town.
Yep.
They may use some of their budget to fund a small part of it.
So they got the whatever they
that's
were
through
gonna
the-
put on that and they approved it.
What'd you say?
Last I knew, they were waiting to see what was gonna actually go on it before.
They met with the artist and the artist showed examples of what it will be and they approved it.
It's from the Vermont Arts Council. The name of the grant is the Animating Infrastructures.
Mhm.
How's the board feel?
I think it's a wonderful idea and totally behind it.
Motion to
Uh,
support the beautification committee on their grant application?
motion to support the beautification committee on their grant application for a mosaic at the Cold Spring.
Pending village approval that they already had. Yes, never mind.
Yeah, they approved it.
All right, there's a motion. Is there a second?
Second,
Further discussion?
yeah, I had one comment, and I can't find where it was, somewhere in this write-up. It describes the Cold Spring as a source of drinking water. I don't think we should say that, because it's
Oh,
not
it does?
a approved drinking water source.
Where do you see that?
I don't know.
under project summary, the Johnson Cold Spring, the virtual institution that provides drinking and non-drinking water for Johnson residents and the surrounding community.
Should not say drinking.
Okay, I'll have
That should
them,
be struck.
Just non-drinking
I'll
water.
have them take that out. I think yeah, we'll take that out. Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Quick question. So the village has approved what it's gonna look like already, or has it just been approved and?
Well, no, what they agreed to was that it's okay for the beautification committee to go ahead and apply for the grant, and they're okay with it in concept. But they want to get more information about what it actually is gonna look like before they actually give permission to go and put the thing there.
Okay, good. That's what I thought.
Uh,
Read that in the minutes and you were saying something.
Well, I thought they gave like stipulations on what they don't want there.
They talked some about what they didn't want, but I think they made it pretty clear that they're saying, yeah, go ahead and apply for the grant, we're okay with it in concept. But we're not gonna do final approval until we have more information about what.
Yeah,
what's really-
I think I will, what I was relayed at the last beautification committee meeting was that it's gonna be mostly abstract art.
Mhm.
And community members will come and like bring like plates or tiles or things, and they'll be like interactive.
Yeah, and it sounds like they're fine with that, if that's really what it is, but. What they just wanna be more authority before they actually, and they're concerned about. How it's gonna be applied. At least a couple of the board members are concerned about that. They want more information about the plans for, is it gonna be applied directly to the concrete, or is it gonna be on some kind of backing?
I think the artist said it would be on a backing, right? That's what I was told.
She was open to that. It sounded like she wanted to visit the site first and work with the village on figuring out exactly what's gonna.
Mhm.
There was some questions about whether people could get cut or something on the shards or something that would be used for the art, as I recall. But thank you very much, Donna, for clarifying that. It hasn't been engraved in stone what it's gonna be.
But I don't think there's going to be, well, I don't know. I
That's
don't,
what the minute said. The minute-
sure.
They should be fine with.
I don't think there's going to, I might be wrong, but I don't think that there's going to be like a set design. I think it's going to be like created there, like in the moment, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, but they haven't actually gone so far as to say, yeah, go out there and whenever you're ready, put the thing up, you know, we've given you final permission. Before
Yeah.
you get to that stage, they're gonna want to hear more about what
Yeah.
it's gonna look like and what the plan is.
Okay.
guys.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Hey, I apologize. Yeah, what Donna said, this is BJ. What Donna says is exactly what happened during our meeting.
Okay. Either way. We just need to approve the grant so money can flow.
We're doing the same thing. We're approving.
It's
like-
not happening on our property. We're approving Rosemary receiving money and writing the check to wherever it goes.
Okay.
And then we
It's the
even
town's
approve the check.
problem, not ours. I mean, the village problem, not ours.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. Kate. Clear as mud. Review and consider the skate park RFP. I would assume that's what Casey's here for.
Casey and I have been working on a RFP for skate park improvements. We've worked back and forth. We have a concept there that we'd like to put out and move forward and go out to bid for the project. Now, did you find out if we need the Act 250?
I haven't heard that.
You haven't heard back, okay. So she's working on that. We got a couple of sketches for what the design's gonna be. And the sketches, Casey? The sketches were provided by
Pierre Hall of Science. I was advised to come up here. Vermont Skate Park Advocates did the design while we were working with FEMA.
Any board,
And with a lot of community input, I would say too.
do any board
Or-
members have
A lot for us.
questions about the RFP? Things they'd like amended or?
A couple of minor questions. Page 1, item 2, concrete site work and whatnot, 1, 2, 3, third paragraph. material for berms can be harvested from the central meadow. Do we want to say you must be? Or do you want, we don't want
I'm not,
material
I'm
brought
not, I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
in. Sorry.
That's okay. The
Material-
humming of the lights.
Third paragraph says material for berms can be harvested from the central meadow
Oh,
located
okay.
within the park.
Right.
Do we want to say must be or should be? We don't want material brought in from elsewhere.
Why, if it's available and there, why? I mean,
Well,
like
my
no
point
brainer
being,
than-
we don't want material brought in from elsewhere into the floodplain. So we want to harvest material that's there and just move it around.
Paul's saying, should we change the language to must be instead of leaving it up to their discretion?
I mean,
Or else somewhere elsewhere is to put material should not be brought into the floodplain without offsetting it.
I see, I'm hearing it, I'm understanding this two ways, so I guess bear with me. The central meadow is where we sort of want to remove material anyway, as I understand it, with sort of long-term flood resilience plans anyway. So that's the deal, that's ideal.
Yeah.
This says can be harvested from there. I'm saying it should say must be. Take it from there. That's where we want them to take it from.
What do you think? I no problem, I guess.
I've got no issue, I mean, not knowing what the material on site is. You know, if there was, if the material wasn't, usable for the project, then the contractor would have the idea, would have the option to bring in.
Right, my concern would be if they bring in material from elsewhere, you're bringing material into the floodplain, then you gotta offset that. That's just creating.
So here's what I think might be the solution is that, yeah, say, you know, that, okay, they want to use that material for the berms, so it has to be compactable and la-di-da-di-da. If, kind of following your thought, if you start a digging and it's like, oh, this is too sandy, or oh, we're running into old,
Yeah.
weird buried things from the former homes. I guess I wouldn't want to lock the contractor into only using the meadow if they found that they had to get material from somewhere else for reasons that we can't anticipate right now. But the more important thing is I would imagine the contractor would be amenable to working with us if we had to move away from gathering everything from the meadow. I mean, that's the most economical thing for them. They would want
Yeah,
to
I'm
do
not
it
questioning
too.
that.
Yeah.
It would be, but
Yeah, I guess so. I guess I wouldn't want to lock them in to say it must only be from the meadow.
I'm saying
Could
something
a
like.
paragraph be added somewhere that says if you bring material into this site, some material needs to be moved from the central meadow to offset cubic yard for cubic yard?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
we can make that change.
Oh, well, yeah, but that's would be part of the terms of the flood permit anyway.
But
Yeah,
I think Paul is just asking if it can be part of the RFP, so it's clear.
Yeah.
upfront. Any other questions, Paul?
That was an excellent
The
question.
only other
It was
question I had is with regard
great
to
question.
insurance, and we're asking for a certificate of insurance, joint liability. Are we asking for any specific limits? Or we think whatever they have is good enough for us?
Well, usually your contractor would have, you know, whatever amounts they're comfortable working with. You know, if the board wanted to set those terms, that would be up to the board. But I mean, just making sure that they've got general liability insurance to cover in case something happens.
Yes. $1 million.
What have we had in other contracts? Is it customary to just leave it blank? Like, as long as you have liability, we don't care how much it is? Seems kind of weak.
We could force them to bond.
I'm not in favor of
We
that.
didn't ask the library bond. That's a bigger project too.
That meets state of Vermont standards.
This does.
That works.
Is that normal for past contracts to not specify liability insurance amounts.
So,
Okay, I think that's just an improvement, but if that's our norm, I'm okay with it.
I just looked up the RFP for the library foundation. It said maintain general liability insurance,
No specified amount.
no specified amount.
Okay.
So being that we asked for an addition, is the board okay approving with the addition?
Okay, as you know, as amended, as discussed tonight.
Basically, the only addition is clearly stating if you bring material in, you bring the same amount out.
Yeah,
And you might want to talk to Jason, see if we can use the old town pit as the location for the out. I don't know.
Yeah, but that doesn't have to be here.
Probably not.
I had one question for the permitting bullet point. The sentence says, if required for town and county flood resilience planning, the contractor will track as built information on volumes of dirt moved and concrete poured. If required for town, like our planning commission, or like, what does that mean?
Floodplain zoning regulation, wasn't it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's another thing we didn't think about. You're bringing in yardage of concrete anyways.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I wrote, this should be required. I think we should have them track as-built information.
to have what permission?
I think we should have the contractor track as-built information on the volumes of dirt moved and
Oh,
concrete
yeah,
poured.
I do too.
It says
Because,
in here, if, thinking, I agree, I think it should just say.
It's
contractor
required.
Will, this is the top of, right above 3.0.
oh, okay. 3.0.
Can I get a motion?
Not that nitpicking you.
Yeah.
Apparently not.
I think that's a good one. Thanks, Adrian.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, see, I thought they would. Hmm. Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the skate park improvements and renovation project RFP with the amendments we discussed after that. Yeah.
That's solid. Motion and a second. Further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Hi.
All those opposed? And the ayes have it. Can I take a quick
very much.
poll of the audience? Is anybody here to talk about town meeting planning? Probably not. Is the board okay if we kind of shift our only things down towards the bottom?
Fine.
You know, town meeting planning can go towards the bottom, which would leave our next item up as huh? I would leave our next item as Emerald Ash Borer trunk injection treatment. John, you want to take this one? Somebody?
Yeah, Sue Lubrin came in, brought me an invoice, and I talked to Rosemary about it. She said this is something that we do every year. And I asked her for a little more information, and she sent me a follow-up that there are 8 ash trees in Old Mill Park, and they're the only trees there. That field is composed of a cap over talc tailings from the former talc mill. The state forbids breaking the ground there, so we can't plant any more trees. That being the case, the tree board feels it's important that we save those ash trees from the emerald ash borer, which has been found in Belvedere and Stowe. The rule of thumb with the ash borer is that trees to be saved within 15 miles of infestation should be systematically treated. Waiting until the tree is already infested is almost always too late. Treatment is done every 2 years and is priced by the diameter of the tree. Sadly, it's a matter of time before the EAB gets to Johnston. The good news is Johnston has no ash in the village right of ways, and the road crew has been proactive removing it on some town roads. For your information, I volunteer with the Urban Committee in Forestry as a forest pest first detector. So anyone wanting info on the emerald ash borer, Asian longhorn, etc., can call me I won't be at the select board meeting on the 19th as I have conservation. Thank you. So she's requesting.
And
that,
she's here. Just said she wasn't gonna be here. How about that? Does the board want to approve the expense that's in front of us, which is for $1,026?
There's a discount, 974.
Like I said before.
Yeah, but I think we're after the period of the discount.
Oh, man,
No, it's a prepaid discount.
By 4 days.
What?
the heck,
Where, what am I missing that?
a discount.
I've got a question for Sue,
No, it's there. I guess it's the office, but.
Mr. Chairman.
Sure.
This is the only type of treatment they can use. I look at this stuff, it's called a drainage. It appears as if you can pour at the base of the tree.
Very ineffective.
Ineffective.
You really want to save the tree, the only way to do it without question is to have it injected. And it can only be done by licensed pesticide.
Yeah, we talked about this before. Did you ever get back to me on that class so I could go do it myself?
I did, I saw the email I sent you the other day.
Well, when does it have to be done?
The treatment to the tree,
Right.
it has to be done before the tree is infested,
Yes, I understand that. But when are you looking to have it done?
June or July.
So there's no reason I could get trained, so we don't have to spend over $1,000 to do this.
You'd be real happy with that, because there's another 5 at the Arboretum.
Another 5 over there? Okay,
The ones at the Arboretum were treated 2 years ago by a grant that the grant people weren't supposed to give us, but they made a mistake and they did, so they said, okay, we're gonna let you have it this time, but you won't do it again. So,
why don't you let me get that class, get that under my belt, and then you can go around, show me all the ones you want done, and we'll inject them. How's that?
sounds good to me. You could go into business.
Well, I guess you get that kind of money for 5 trees. I mean, for 8 trees and then
Another 5.
another 5.
It was $860 years ago.
Is the board okay with seeing if Mike can get his tree
Not
squirting
yet.
certification?
Don't even say it.
I already said it.
Don't say it out loud.
I said tree squirting certification.
I knew that was coming.
I did too.
Yeah,
Do we know how much the training is?
I don't think it can be that difficult,
The
to tell you the
training,
truth.
I don't know about right now, but last year it was $25. And I think the way that read it was, if you flunked the course, you had to pay, and if you didn't, you didn't.
Well, most online courses are a piece of cake.
Maybe some other tree board members would be interested in going too?
We're already too busy.
Okay.
No work.
All right, so are we just, is the board cool with tabling this and getting a report
Yes.
from Mike and
Yes.
Sue, please, if this gets lost,
So when I get back from
bump us
vacation.
in June? You could put that on your calendar,
Well,
We're gonna miss another discount?
probably.
this can't really move.
Well, you don't even know what I'm gonna charge, yeah.
So,
The last time we had it done, they actually, I don't know why, but they charged $200 less than actual.
$300 less?
Yeah. I didn't question it.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I didn't go through it.
Every look it gets worth in the mail.
do you have any idea how much of this particular price, not Mike's price, but this one, is the substance, the chemical?
Material? I don't know. Closest people who are reputable come from Waterbury, and part of it is the travel.
Okay.
Okay. Our next item up, I guess we're tabling this. Next item up is discuss town revenue. Can we bump that for the audience? Next item up is review and consider signing certificate of highway mileage for year ending February 10, 2026. I believe this is accurate. We could probably hit this one out of the park, but we're not doing great on that.
Well, I got the notice of public hearing and site visits from Rosemary. And I read down through and it showed that there was 3 roads that were reduced from class 4 to legal trails. So on the certificate of highway mileage, I showed that subtraction, updated the math. And what I need tonight is for the board to approve it and sign it. Also, I need to turn in a set of signed minutes. And going through the previous minutes, it wasn't until November 3rd, 2025 that the board acted and approved the changes.
Well, I mean, we acted and approved before, but it didn't make it. There was an audio visual error, and then we reaffirmed it again. But those minutes would be.
Yes. So what I'm asking is that the board sign this so I can turn it in and reapprove these minutes. I need signed minutes that I turn in the application.
Signed minutes?
Signed minutes.
Send them all. Can you get that watermark removed? We already approved those.
Yeah.
Minutes.
They gotta be signed according to the.
All right.
And if you need me to send you a version that doesn't have a watermark, if you don't have that.
Okay.
If you can do that and you can add signature lines to them, then we can just e-sign them.
Okay.
Can I get a motion to
Yep.
approve the highway mileage certificate?
So moved.
You want to
Second.
sign this one tonight?
Yeah. Motion and a second. Further discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, and the ayes have it. Okay. Yours. Town Highway Grant Program can wait. Discussion regarding the future of Lowell Lecture Hall, Old Town Hall. Peter, John, somebody?
Yeah, so I put this on the agenda. Oh, I need everybody to sign cover. Yeah. I put this on the agenda. Kind of get the what the board was thinking. I went back and I looked and I saw that they had a public meeting and they had some ideas that were generated at the time. I looked at the survey that Peter handed out. The building itself does need a lot of work. I think you and I talked that this would be a topic for after town meeting. And I just kind of wanted to get some idea from the board, did they have any ideas, what were some plans that could be considered? Ideally, when the snow melts and the sale goes through, I'd like to go out and walk it. I know there's some grant money that's out there for historic preservation. But I mean, most of those grants require some kind of plan for the building afterwards. I just wanted to initiate the discussion from the board and get their feedback.
I think high level, there's no defined plan. There's been quite a few
Right.
ideas and trying not to misspeak for anybody here, but I think we're pretty clear in our special town meeting that once the building it's almost.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Because of Act 250, because the studio center owned the building. So is that going to transfer to us, the town of Johnson, Act 250 on this building? Because if it is, I think people in the town are going to maybe want to revisit whether they want to buy it or not. Because what we go through just for this industrial park to get anything done through Act 250. You spend more money going through Act 250 than you do actually getting something done.
I don't know what the question is. Is the question, are we exempt from Act 250?
Are we exempt or do we follow Act 250 on this bill?
Well, when we do the downtown.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
26, if you have your town report with you.
And that's basically kind of a maintenance. That's not addressing some of the significant work that needs to be done. We want to address that pretty carefully, I think.
And I think that's one of my goals. I had that, putting it on the agenda to talk to the board, because when you start looking for grant funding, one of the things that they want to hear is that there's a plan for the reuse of the building. And I wanted to, educate myself, talk to the board and see, what their plan was. And I put a note in the packet there from a previous meeting, some of the topics that were discussed. And it's going to be a process going forward.
Carefully.
Are your questions getting answered, Pat?
Yes. It does.
The direct answer to most of them is no.
Or it's in process.
I just see a lot of problems. I'm just worried about the building deteriorating as we move forward. It's a year project, 2-year project, 3-year project. So I would like to see a prioritized list. And what is the most important thing to do? Is it the roof? Is it the foundation? And
Yep.
in 2 years, I don't want to see we need $80,000 to go on the taxes to fix something because it's in dire straits now.
That could be cheap.
Well, yeah. Yes.
Thank you very much. Are there any other questions on the lecture hall?
Yeah, could Mike take a course on how?
What you say?
She said, could you take a course on how to fix it all?
I'll fix it up.
You can inject it.
Did you have any comments?
No
Okay.
comments, I was just here to.
Okay.
I agree with you, Pat. I see problems on this whole thing too, and especially if you've had neighboring properties that have been encroaching on it for years and not been told they couldn't.
Put them on notice, and we had conversations with their attorney that for the neighbors, landlords and so forth. So.
Okay, so you think that's all worked out?
Yeah, we actually, we blocked off, well, we had blocked off so people wouldn't park, because the way it works is that little house that's right next to it, people are parking right there, so we didn't want them to park there, so they have a drive-through. Our lawyer, there's no adverse, whatever you say, that's not happening with us, because we're a nonprofit, so it's not, you can't do that, so.
Okay.
So we already had our attorneys talk to the neighbors, doing it stuff, so
So that goes pretty close to the parts place,
it's right up.
right up tight to it. And they've been using that for parking for years. Okay.
Just the handicap spot, I think.
Okay.
Is really close to their other side, so I believe there's something now.
And the other side, it goes right tight to that building it's in.
Yes,
So you could cut those trees down and have diagonal parking right in through there.
you could, yes.
Those precious trees.
Yeah,
That somebody might want to hug before we cut them down.
All right, let's move on from trees.
No, it's not.
No, you have the tree.
Yeah, I know, that's why I said it.
Wonderful. All right. I think we're back up to our regular stuff. Right?
Thank
Yeah.
you for answering those questions, I appreciate it.
I can also on our side think about that Act 250, so I don't know, it's pretty positive, but we didn't trigger Act 250 when we purchased it on these books, so.
But you would have if we took the weather van.
Something, yeah, so we.
John, maybe we can have our attorney talk to their attorney about the adverse possession issue. Just make sure that's clear for us as well.
Yeah.
Good point.
Plans for
How
town
do I
meeting
contact
day.
you?
I think.
Okay.
So we should have
Yeah.
an email.
Perfect.
Okay, great,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Melanie.
On the one,
Sure.
little gap, the library.
We're
Don't get me going on now.
we're working with and supporting the library trustee board as things evolve. They have made commitments to come up with the shortfall in funding. And the last conversation with the library, that was in here, was they were going to work on a grant amendment and potentially a contract amendment. to see if we could get more money
No money.
and didn't have to finish.
Well, the short version is that their
Responsible.
their grant got amended, so they don't have to build the whole thing, which is what they originally thought. They just have to open the old building and they can use the grant money for the old building. So they can do that by the end of this year and meet the grant requirements and then do whatever else they need to do as money allows. So they actually got some really good news from the funding agency.
Without the town being responsible.
Pardon me.
Without the town being responsible.
But we're still,
We still need,
Clerk of the works is watching things being done around that building and at that building.
no,
that's a rub too, Pat.
Well, so they were digging up around the foundation when it was 10 below or whatever, and then plopping great big chunks of frozen earth, then running an excavator over the top of it and it going up against the foundation. If anybody seen that or thought what was going on when they were digging, putting dirt in.
Yeah, it smashed up a bunch of the extruded polystyrene that was against the building.
Oh, boy.
understood. That was from Holmes Meadow.
Yeah.
Material.
So to move forward, or with the clerk of the works, before any more work is being done, does it go through the clerk of the works, then it goes through the town or not?
We do not have a clerk for the works for that project.
We need one badly.
John, I think you were gonna reach out to Mumley and see what they would charge for that. We talked about that in our last meeting. Is that on your list somewhere?
It's on my list. I didn't get down.
Thank you. We talked about that, we're aware, but we don't have one, it wasn't in the budget.
I don't wanna be a naysayer here, but I was under the assumption that these projects were moving forward and we had our ducks in a row for them to move forward and the funding was there. And, you know, the rumor on the streets is with the library that there's just no money there. Was there any money there to begin with?
And there's money there. The library, after the grant and some funding from the library kicking in, has, round numbers, $1.9 million for the project. Round numbers, it's gonna cost, give or take, 2.4 to complete the project. It's only the delta. And the architect, as well as the engineers, were all surprised at how high the project came in based on their, preliminary numbers for the grant application.
Pat, to answer your question, I took pictures of that and I gave it to the board.
They need 500,000 more to complete it, and work is gonna keep going with the money they have, so nothing is stopping or pausing. It's gonna keep going until the money is spent, I suppose.
And the rumors on the street, that's pretty lacking in fact.
Yes, but they're there.
They're there. Yeah, I don't know
So
how we get people to listen.
Well, when you see a GoFundMe page looking for all
Yeah.
kinds of money, of course it's not.
Mike, the town is not on the hook.
I understand.
All right,
But there
it's
is
the libraries.
There is a shortfall on that, and there is a GoFundMe, and you can
There's a
see
shortfall.
why
Gentlemen,
people are upset.
The library was not on our agenda.
I know.
I did this as a favor for Pat to talk about it. I think we're getting back to our agenda.
Okay.
Dead.
Thanks, Pat.
Yeah.
Not about the library.
I did do some research this week on some CDBG grant opportunities. And under the public facilities program, they do list libraries. So I'm going to explore that.
Thank you. Town meeting day,
Right, Pat.
planning. Planning town meeting day? What do we need? John kind of had this one on the agenda and it's a good time to have it.
So we got the Historical Society is going to be selling pies.
But they're free to select board members.
That's good news.
They charged me double last year.
We probably
Talk about some
So you can
sharks. $5 a slice. I gave him a 10 and left with a piece of pie.
You just go and keep it.
But Jenny Yoris is gonna be doing tea and coffee and
Food shelf.
for the food, yes. And for pizza, it's
Mark Woodward.
Mark Woodward.
Doesn't Rec usually do the coffee?
Not this year.
Mark Woodward's doing the pizza?
Well, the
Organizing it.
Okay,
Johnson Eats.
because I'm on the pizza committee, but I haven't heard anything yet, so.
Mark goes in at 2 o'clock in the morning to start that thing to get it all hot.
And I got
Kyle has arranged daycare,
Yeah,
which is great.
That one still concerns me a little bit, but
what?
move on.
They've been doing daycare for 5-6 years now.
I know.
The parents stay on sites. They have to stay on site still. But Kyle said that we need to reach out to the elementary school, or what did she say we need to
We
do?
used to go through.
Oh,
Yeah, for the room.
it says contact Johnson Elementary School to reserve the classroom for the kindergarten room. Let this community service, let the community know the service will be available to them at town meeting. Create and put up signs and arrows directing parents to the classroom. Create sign in sheet for parents that include phone number. Day before, confirm with the school that the room will be unlocked, and babysitters submit hours and get paid minimum wage.
Mr. Chairman, what was your concern about the date?
It's a lot of liability on the town.
It is, and
I mean, we can't hire, no offense, to anybody, we can't hire an employee without a background check. In any other capacity. And what happens if the kids get hurt? Who is responsible?
there is some kind of a course, I think it's, I don't know if the proper name is like assessing the risk or some dumb thing that you can, course you can take that would protect the town if something happened. That's what you're thinking about?
I'm thinking that if we were to provide babysitters, they should have courses in babysitting, CPR training, stop bleed training, background checks. If we're really gonna do it,
They might have those. I don't know.
possibly.
Yeah.
Why don't you just let me die with saying I'm skeptical?
No, but I mean, you do have a good point that the town is on the hook if something happens.
As always.
We're always on the hook.
Now that we moved on from that. Casey,
Question. Have there been discussion with other committees about, there are presentation tables and stuff. Is that come into focus yet?
I think anybody that wants a presentation table can just
Well, I
email
mean,
John.
kind of a pretty good reason for the library board to have a information table. At,
Mhm. Maybe, John, could you send an email to committee and commission chairs offering that?
But in years past, the skate park committee has often had a table. We could use a small table
Mhm.
and show people what our project's gonna be.
Yeah, maybe ask them to have a sign up sheet too for.
Ditto town hall. But are they, I guess, no, we don't know yet, so.
So, great idea.
Okay, it's not a bad
You
idea.
know what I'm saying? Because people lack facts and it's a way of helping.
Yep.
Great idea. We could ask chairs of committees if they want to be there. All the committees that love being there have already said they're gonna be there, but.
Collecting the money from us.
Mhm.
Do I get a freebie piece this year?
Wrong donate.
But I do want to mention that I do remember from last year that there was a shortage of tables that were easy to work from for the groups, because the tables that are available are the ones that have the seats.
Oh, yeah.
They only have about maybe four. Maybe Rosemary sent some over last year or the year before.
I think I've always told people to bring your own table,
No, okay.
because the school doesn't have a lot of tables.
Right.
Yeah, maybe that could be part of the email chairs if you want to set something up
Bring
on
them
the
on
table.
BYOT.
BYOT.
BOT.
So now that we're back to school type things, you've been in communication with the school,
Yes.
gotten the Wi-Fi password.
Yeah.
Green Mountain Access Television had some questions. Are you running with theirs? They wanted to know if the school was setting up the school's AV equipment, the Wi-Fi password, some other things. But those would be if you have a contact at the school, yeah.
Can you forward that to me?
They wanted to know if it's still going to be held at the John. Yeah, I'll just forward it, the whole thing.
Yeah. Rosemary, Susan and I, we went over and had a meeting with the principal and the staffs. And we had a chance to talk to them and request what we needed.
I know a Wi-Fi password was difficult, or Wi-Fi access was difficult.
I guess there's a guess that there is no password to it.
Okay. Are we going to set up on the stage this year?
Ew.
Yeah.
Only if we're at the old town hall.
Are we gonna wear matching outfits?
Would you like
Not
matching outfits?
Yeah, but can I?
Nobody getting off board this year.
Can
Nobody
we
does
ask-
it.
Bunny
If
suits?
you want to pick that, I will gladly carry it in with me.
I'll send some ideas.
What else? The local Boy Scout troop used to present the colors.
They have not last few
They
years.
haven't for the last couple of years,
Do you know
but
who the Scoutmaster is?
I don't, but Dick Seamays, I think, is still connected enough.
I think Dick is connected, but I don't believe that there are any scouts left. The last two, Gal and Belleville Bridge.
Well,
Bagel project.
maybe
Were the last two.
reach out to Tom Carney and see if there's a bunch of veterans that would be willing to do it.
I did it last year.
Well, you stood up and started the Pledge of Allegiance, but you know, if there was a
Getting back to what, just a second ago, you said, what are we gonna wear? You know, we did Johnson wool. If everybody's got a Vermont flannel shirt, you know, we could all wear a different Vermont flannel shirt. I'll wear one. And if you don't want to spend $100, you can find them on eBay real cheap.
okay.
I have one Vermont flannel.
Is coordination of wardrobe the most important thing?
No, but she said we're gonna all kind of we're not gonna have the same one on.
Mm-hmm.
Could have flannel shirts.
That might be something we can discuss by email.
No.
What we wear could probably be discussed by you.
Yeah,
We had a select board member buy all those last year.
but he got done.
Oh, Paul.
Get done
Paul?
this year.
You want to buy me a
Wasn't my
Johnson
name.
Woolen?
Well, technically speaking, I think you took over that select
Oh, yeah.
board members.
I can't.
We can figure out wardrobe, but I don't know. Are there any other ideas for Pledge of Allegiance, presenting flags?
I think that's a great idea.
If they're interested in doing it,
They're
I
interested.
think is Tom the runner of that circle?
Yeah, Tom and Donnie.
Yeah. Any contact? Rosemary's got contact info for Tom Carney.
And that's with the veterans.
Yeah, just to see if there's no scouts,
Maybe Girl Scouts,
that'd be fine.
because they sell Girl Scout cookies, but I don't know who it is.
That'd be fun. They've never done that before.
How do we find out who it is?
Yeah.
Maybe Kyle knows.
There it is.
Ask her. If you don't mind.
You can sell cookies too.
Yeah. They used to. They haven't for a while.
Active bodies.
Anything else?
Girl Scouts used to sell cookies.
Yes, no, maybe?
Is there like an elementary like band or choir or anything like that to include?
I don't know.
Okay.
No, just, I had it on the agenda. I know you and I talked about it, to try to, see what we need for town meeting. That's coming up quick.
Does anybody else have any wants, wishes? I think my mother-in-law usually does a couple things with flowers.
You folks aren't riveted anymore?
Keeping a little bit. Oh.
One of the things I'll just offer up with your pondering so babysitters, maybe if you could find an EMT or a nurse that would be in the area with the kids. Or speaking from some experience, the ski patrol. They all would have the necessary first aid background should an emergency arise. And maybe you can set it up where they're in like a 2-hour shift or something like that. So you're not burdening them with the whole day. But that would give you some adult supervision that's medically trained. Just a thought. I'm not trying to stir the pot here.
No.
But the resources may be available locally.
Yeah.
To get you a little bit better confidence, but you are exposing yourself. Ski patrol for 40 years with the park district. And the liability is huge, should something go the wrong way.
That's a great idea. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you.
What did I just think of? Go.
Like I said, I could reach out to Tammy. She's looking at starting a job, but if she's available. She's a former teacher, so she's had her background checked, and she's a former EMT.
How about that?
Yeah.
Might as well ask the question.
I know when this program first started, the babysitters did take a certified babysitting course.
Red Cross offers one, yeah,
I think that's what they took.
and that would be a good idea.
Kyle sent me the Girl Scout leaders contact info, so I'll forward that to you guys.
Okay, Green Mountain Tech Center, wellness, early nursing or whatever kind of programs they have up there. Any of those kids might be a resource. Would they be, or they, not certified enough?
Maybe. Maybe we're getting too deep in the weeds on that one.
You started it.
Yeah, I did.
Charles is a ski patroller. It's a mistake.
Huh?
Charles Flom, ski patrol.
Yeah, there we go.
You started it and I ran with it.
Have any of the local reps reached out to you to see if I may be here? No. I can email them tomorrow. They're usually wanting
To come after lunch. We all done?
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope.
We lose so many people like after they leave.
All right. I'll just copy you on that.
It should be pretty short town meeting, I feel like.
Well, depends how long we talk about the library and the town hall.
That's not
Be
on
big
the
topics.
agenda.
I know, but it's something a big topic.
Like I said, we've condemned administration.
The stuff on the agenda is going to be pretty painless.
Mhm.
It's only whether.
Mhm.
Anything else? We're good.
Should we have Jason there for Public Works or?
He hasn't been there since he's been the supervisor. But if he wants to come, he has
Supposed to be working.
time. Yeah, he's supposed to be working.
You could ask Isabella if she wanted to give any recreation.
Isabel, she can't be there.
Oh, okay.
I'm assuming she can't because usually they make a pile of money on coffee.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
What was I just thinking about? Oh, I will get together a list of potential topics and experts, and we can talk about that at our next meeting.
Okay.
Usually it's like, if we get a question about ATVs, just Mike can be our topic expert. My guess is low lecture hall, library. Maybe.
Oh, what fun. Yeah,
In all honesty, you answered better than I did.
sure. I'll
But
give it a shot.
we can bounce it back and forth.
As long as Mike agrees to be my wardrobe consultant.
Deal.
Yeah, listen, you even brought it up.
Can we move on this one?
Yep.
Do we want to talk about creating town revenue?
I got
Bring
this,
up that is, who's contacting the school to reserve the room for daycare?
Huh?
Who's contacting the school to reserve the room for daycare?
John.
I can do that.
Yeah, he's got to talk to the school about for the GMATV stuff. The daycare. There's a couple of
Okay.
items. Everything okay, Donna?
There's a 3 extensions for purpose like this, but then.
Keep raising money.
Right. You
Your batteries can get some.
want to have the floor?
Yeah,
Your batteries can.
so I just thought it'd be good to like talk about how we could increase town revenue. There's a lot of different avenues. There's a sheet that has different like buckets of ideas, but property, the main ones are like property taxes, local fees and charges, state aid revenue sharing, enterprise funds, local option taxes, grants, external funding, fines, penalties, asset-based revenue, economic development, donations, endowments.
Keep going.
But I just generally wanted to see if anyone had any ideas that we wanted to try out to increase our revenue. And open the floor to that.
I did attach, some research on the local option tax. I know there's some communities that have used it successfully. It does require town meeting approval. And I added that to the package just for some board to consider.
I've heard a lot of communities are talking about that, and as I was looking at this today, I was thinking, I sure would like to hear from businesses in town that depend on tourist business, how they would feel about a local option tax. Because the last thing we want to do is reduce economic activity.
Mhm.
Well put. Well put.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna mention something here, people are probably gonna block at it, but at least we have discussed it before, and we know it is gonna be a long process. But we could save quite a lot of money if we didn't have to plow and maintain all these single-family driveways. I just drove by McEwen Heights the other day, and, I know that it's paved. And so when that road needs to be paved again, the town has to pay for it. And we do have a lot of farms. I mean, they were old farms years ago, and we all know that the reason why is that farmers had milk. They had to pick them up, and so that's why the road was there. It was maintained and everything else. But they're not farms anymore. They're single family homes. And so, we discussed that a while back about some of them don't give us room to turn around in. And we were going to try to find a way to say that if they didn't allow us to turn around, that we weren't going to take care of them. And then we find out from the state that we can't say that, or we can't do that. But we need to start the process of getting away from this. And I don't know how much we would save in the long run, but, because there's no real breakdown of it, but I would imagine in a year's time, it would be a considerable amount of money. I mean, you just look at 100C of that bridge that goes to one house. That had to be replaced years ago for 2 houses, and one of them belongs to the college, which is no longer vacant. It's vacant now, okay? And so nobody lives there. So there's only one house across that. And unless there's other buildings or something further up to support that, someday that bridge will have to be replaced. And who knows how much money, and the town is going to have to foot the bill for it. So some of these places ought to be done away with, really. So I've got 3 years, provided nobody runs against me and beats me. So the next 3 years, I'm going to be pushing that. That we need to look into this and try to be saving us money, you know, and plowing them out and maintaining them, and grading them and hauling gravel into them. I mean, this just goes on and on and on. And I think Morrisville is getting rid of a whole bunch of them. And we need to look into what the process they went through to do it.
We just did that last year. I think we can all agree there are places to save money. This is about bringing money in.
I understand. But if you don't spend as much money, you don't have to bring as much money in. So that's my point with that.
Dollar saved, dollar earned.
That's right.
I have a question about reappraisals. So does not create new money, just redistribute. If somebody has made improvements to their property, wouldn't their assessment go up?
A reappraisal would redistribute the money because you have your approved budget. We prepare a budget.
Mhm.
The taxpayers accept it or deny it.
Mhm.
And then we use the grand list to determine the tax rate. So if a property depreciates, they just pay less in taxes. If a property appreciates, they just pay more in taxes. But if everything, in an ideal world, your grand list would grow at the same rate that your expenses grow and your tax rate would never change.
But typically, when you do a reappraisal, when everybody gets reappraised, the tax rate goes down.
Right.
Because grand list figures.
It's not like you keep your tax rate there.
Okay.
So. Also, you know, during
us.
we went through the tax abatement program with people that were flooded. It was a big eye opener for me, and I know it was for a lot of the other participants, that you had a lot of these apartment houses that were in for basically a pittance, and they had like 4 apartments with, you know, $1,200–1,400 a month. It's not based on income for these taxes. It's based upon the appraised value of the house. And so you listen to the assessor, and he talks about a room here and a room there and fixtures here and fixtures there. And next thing you know, they have a house that's generating a tremendous amount of income that's only in for like $150,000. So, I mean, they're not actually paying their fair share of the amount of income that they are producing out of these apartments. So, I mean, the whole thing has to be possibly revamped down the road and make some of these people with the ability to pay more taxes pay that.
The majority of the businesses in our town are not assessed on a business model.
That's right.
They're assessed on a property model.
Right.
I guess one thing I was interested to see if we had any land to be able to do this with, was leasing town land or buildings, and maybe leasing land for like cell towers or solar arrays on municipal property. I don't know if we have any areas that would be a good fit for that.
You'd certainly have a lot of people yell at you if you did it.
Well, the cell tower is up at the college, and the college is in the state's generating revenue from that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
there could be a penance of money for certain things, but it's worth looking at. I don't want to even think about the local options tax myself.
no,
I don't think it fits our town. Town like Williston, sure, because people go there and shop a lot. Town like Stowe, sure, they have a lot of room and board alcohol sales.
Mhm.
Here it would just be a tax on the local residents for the most part. So they wouldn't see it in their property taxes, and unfortunately, we only get to keep like 75%. I thought it was 60%. Michelle corrected me. We get to keep 75% of that 1% of the sales tax. State gets to keep the other 25 and they fund it.
The pilot.
The pilot program.
Adrian, you mentioned cell towers. At one time, we got a piece of property that they were thinking of putting a cell tower on, and they were gonna pay us $25,000 a year for a 30-year contract. Okay, but they ended up going someplace else. I think they actually going to college instead.
Yeah.
But I certainly would have not minded $25,000 a year just to have a cell tower on my property.
And I wouldn't be dropping calls if they had done that.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know we don't have like parking tickets, but is that an option?
Who would enforce it? The sheriff's department. And they won't.
They
enforce
issued
it.
one ticket last month.
One. That's huge. I do think.
Generate a lot of revenue up in towards San Jay up there.
For what?
Danville. People get picked up there all the time.
I do think our pay for services should go up.
Or paid for services?
Well, maybe that goes under fees or local fees and charges. But I said that about rec when we were budgeting. And I think I also said I'd like to see a lot more donations and empower committees to get donations.
Yeah. And then like with form-based code, could we like charge for violations for that?
Do we even have a fee structure
I believe there is one.
for that?
What it is.
We don't even enforce what we've got.
We certainly could.
What was your question? Sorry.
Violations with form-based code?
Violations.
Although there's no fee structure if you don't fill out an application before you start work, correct? Why I'd have to reread.
We've only had one fee.
No, there's been two. It's just from the same person.
Okay.
I think. The garage.
That's kept secret for the last 8 years.
Got a lot of attention on that past. It's hard to imagine people don't know. But certainly the administration of it has been pretty quiet.
Yeah.
One of your board members was very outspoken. Planning commission.
One thing that would bring in a tremendous swing in our budget would be getting the state to recognize the calculation error in their pilot payment and correct it. That would change our tax rate by 4%, give or take.
Yeah.
Well, how can we do that?
Now, if you can get the state of Vermont to admit to their error and correct it, then we probably still wouldn't get the full payment because they're shortchanging every town except for Chester right now. But we'd get a lot more.
Can we sue them?
Maybe.
Well, the state's just about ready to go belly up anyway, so. Really.
But that is not funded through income taxes for them.
Yeah.
That would be a big swing. I know there was a huge push, was that 2 years ago, another big push last year, and nothing's changed.
Big push from here or statewide?
From us.
From us.
I don't think a lot of towns know how formula even works.
State budget's over $8 billion this year.
Doesn't matter.
Kevin? think one of the areas that might be considered is, having support from our town administrator and our community economic development with grants to the various committees. I don't know if something comes up and they ask you to get help. But when we had the time when Blair was here and was actually a part of so many committees just because she was here. And she would come back with ideas and then get something generated. And then the committee became the legs of getting some of the work done. But she actually was the person who did the writing and dotted the i's and crossed the t's and got it sent in the way it needed to be done. Because they're always changing. Now, some grants are real easy to do, but some of them are just almost impossible for the layperson or somebody who hasn't written a grant in 25 years.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
just keeping that in mind as we're writing the community economic development job description.
Mhm.
To me, that's a good place for it because I think the town administrator has tools to do. But I think the two together really help with volunteers could get more money.
Right. Definitely.
Shall we pick this up again?
Yeah, this can be an ongoing topic, but then we can move on to the
We
CEDs.
could add that to old business too, so we can kind of talk about it on any meeting.
Sure.
And we can take off TSSA on old business as well.
Are there any of those other ones here that we can take off?
But
You said the capital budget and plan is being worked on by the planning commission?
They're working on getting a grant, so hopefully I'll follow that up.
Okay, so do we need that on our old business if they're working on it?
I'd keep it there for now.
Keep it track of it.
We're gonna really need to like.
Good night, Lois.
for all
They'll
this
be coming
first
to us. Yeah.
Or-
Good night, Lois.
March.
Okay.
Town Highway Grant Program, anything for that, John?
I talked to Jason. He said they applied for it last year and they weren't successful. He was hoping to do Wilson Road. I reached out to a guy with Vermont Transport, Steve Sally, and he told me that the grants were up to 200,000. Jason said that's what they applied for last year. He said he can use town equipment and town labor as part of the match. He said he'd like to see us apply for the same amount for this year and dedicate those funds for Wilson Road.
Everybody cool with that? Deal. Rosemary wants a road off of Wilson Road
Yeah, they
paved.
can go down a 10th of a mile.
10th of a mile?
Yeah.
Ask Jason if he'll fit it in.
We'll see everybody on town meeting day.
Have a good one, Mike.
See you later.
Have a good trip, Mike.
Thank you.
Where are you going?
Italy.
Huh?
Italy.
Oh, Italy.
Like,
Wow.
fought the day before town meeting day.
When you go,
Wow.
Well, are you?
Oh,
Nice.
thank you.
bon voyage.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Gonna go to Venice, gonna go to Rome, gonna go take a train to some little town, and we're gonna end up in Venice.
Couple Olympic events while you're there.
That's it.
A couple Olympic events while you're there.
Yeah, probably. I'll get right on that.
Oh, yes, I want
Okay.
Good night. Take care.
Community Economic Development Coordinator job description.
I did get
Specialist, sorry.
some feedback back from Adrian on her thoughts on the position. One of the questions she asked was having this individual, work with the individual committees. I didn't know if the board wanted to identify certain committees they wanted this individual to work with or work as a whole, because I mean, that would give them a lot of hours. I wasn't sure what our budget was going to be.
Well, I was thinking they would work with all the committees, but like we would set kind of some kind of amount of committee meetings that they would go to each month, like maybe 2 meetings a month and like rotate with the different committees.
Okay.
That's what I thought was happening.
I think one of the things Lois just brought up is sort of interesting. Like, are we looking for this person to just do work that somebody points them at, or are we looking for this person to be the spark, the identifier, hey, let's do this? You know, there's the idea, there's identifying grants, that's one of our, and there's also identifying the ideas of the projects. And then there's putting the two together, making it happen. And is this person the idea generator? Or is this person the do what the committees come up with person?
I feel like they should be an aid for the committees, but also offer insights and ideas as well if they'd like, but
Both.
both, yeah, I think so, but mainly support for committees and for the select board for writing grants and getting.
Do we know what we want to budget for the position?
It's budgeted for,
Yeah, it was, 20 hours,
I think it's 24.
24.
24 hours.
Yeah, it's in the spreadsheet.
So we can't increase the hours because we already put that in the budget?
Well, you certainly can. You know, select board can spend all they want. Once a budget's approved,
You guys hear that?
what towns can't do is deficit spend. Correct? You have to retire your debts of your overall budget within the first year. I mean, we didn't budget $100,000 for the foreman's truck last year. Still spent it. It came out of a reserve fund, but we're tied to the amount that's raised by taxes, but how that's actually spent.
Yeah. I would like it increased to as close to 40 as we can. I mean, it's a very valuable position for bringing in money.
To answer your initial question, what do we want? I think Adrian and I have always disagreed a little on this. I agree on committee support, but I always, you know, in essence, there's two ways to tackle projects and grants, like high level. There's a grant that's out there and you just build a project for it and do it. And then there's the long-term plan where you build a project and go find the money for it. And I feel as though Johnson has been in a very reactive cycle instead of a proactive cycle. Oh crap, there's money, let's build a project. You know, the industrial park is proactive. The library, Holmes Meadow, I guess, was somewhat proactive, but Lenway Lane, all these other projects are very reactive. And I would like a community and economic development specialist to build the long-term things and then find the money. I believe when Leah was doing it, Rosemary could correct me, but there was a lot of time, effort, and planning that went into the Main Street project. That was a shelf-ready project, and there was congressionally directed spending, I believe, that they said,
Shelf-ready.
do you have a value-added project for your community that's shelf-ready, if you will? I think there was a big scramble to update numbers a little bit. But when you have the project, here's the plan, here's the design, here's the preliminary numbers in 2013 or whatever. And you get, you know, Peter Welch's office that calls and says, I want to do something for Johnson in 2018. You're updating numbers, you're not redesigning everything or building a whole project from scratch. That's what community economic development specialist is to me. And that was a huge driver, I think, in the Reimagine Johnson process, was identifying long-term community. When it first kicked off, that's what it was, long-term community goals. It evolved a little bit, as all community processes do. But that's what I want.
I do think it's changed a little bit with the advent of the Reimagine Johnson thing and now the CPA grant that may go into forming those long-term plans that we can then build projects for and seek money for.
The RERC one for sure.
Yeah.
You know, the rail trail connector scoping study. That identified funding sources in a generalized project, right? Do any of us like that?
No. Oh, I don't.
Yeah. maybe we didn't.
Well, I do. What's wrong with it?
Uh,
We need to get people off the rails rolling into Johnson somehow.
maybe we'd still get that.
Idea of it.
Yeah, the idea is great, but maybe a community economic development specialist, if we task them with a trails plan. Could work, you know, the rail trail connection committee has done a great job at identifying, but. Maybe there's conversations with people where one or two right of ways could do a whole nother path. And that could link up to. That Beard Recreation Park, that could have a path to Legion Field, that could have a path to. The Arboretum, and maybe the long-term plan could be a bridge across the Union Bank parking lot, so you have a loop, because we're gonna own that. But that's a long-term plan that has to have a lot of layout and thought.
Mhm.
Then go find fun.
I think we need both, for sure.
Yeah, I fear that when we structure and say, we want you to go to committees, we want you to support committees, it's the perfect storm for just getting raveled up in that. Oh, well, we want this. Okay, scramble, build a project. Oh, well, this grant's available. Let's scramble, build a project.
Yeah,
It puts that person.
but I think
Yeah.
grants kind of work like that. So though, like some smaller grants, I think kind of work like that though. Like you don't know until it's released that it's an option, you know?
Smaller ones, sure.
I mean, if you had like an overall, like a 5-year plan and said, okay, you know, this is what we vision for Johnson. And then, okay, well, there's a grant that come out, well, it can be part of this or it can be part of this. But I mean, that overall plan needs to be in place instead of, instead of chasing stuff and just kind of lumping it in a pile and saying, well, this is what we have.
Mhm.
I also am guilty of this myself. But pretty much all we talk about is grants. With a community economic development coordinator, right? If we just want a grant writer, why don't we just put out a job description for a grant writer? You'll get a different interested person.
Mhm.
Like the economic development part.
Well, what's the economic development? Is it writing grants for committees?
No, not economic development wouldn't be. But I think it would be great for committees to have some support around pursuing grants, but, and I don't want to minimize anybody's work, but we're talking about relatively small grants. That when there's a lot of them, they take a lot of time. And how much of this person's time do we want directed toward relatively small grants versus things that make bigger impact?
What are some bigger impact things that we could get with a economic development specialist? Like what are we wanting?
We got a shovel-ready project, we could end up with $7 million in congressionally directed spending that's spent in the village. But it did look pretty.
So just like infrastructure projects?
I mean, like they were handling the industrial park.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, where the shopping center was, I mean,
Our
you know, would we have a vision that, you know, we'd want a set of buildings with a store and, you know, some retail space
Mhm.
outside the flood zone?
Mhm.
Where would that be? You know,
Yeah.
what would be the plan to acquire the property, acquire the funds?
identify that. If we had a full-time SEDS position and we said, and the community identified Lowell Lecture Hall as wanting to be a business incubator, get more business.
Mhm.
I know the previous full-time SEDS employee we had was working with the nonprofit that's spun up
Yeah.
to try to help get information about the town out there.
I mean, do we have areas where maybe we could locate a business and, you know, we got the light industrial park, but I mean, you know, what if, you know, how would we attract a larger business and what kind of business would that be for employment opportunities? infrastructure.
Can the economic development specialist help with housing?
Yeah, I mean, to me, that would be part of it, because I mean, you're looking to increase the grand list. You're looking to increase viability. You know, where, you know, if we had land, you know, and somebody was interested in subdivision,
Mhm.
you know, where would we put it? Where would that be? And then would we need the infrastructure, the telephone poles, the water and the sewer connections to that property?
Mhm.
And then what kind of money is available for that?
Yeah.
I mean,
To me,
I
it
did,
goes on the back burner.
Huh?
Huh?
None. Answer your question.
I did sit in on a training today through Vermont League of Cities and Towns on the CHIP program.
Okay.
You know, got some information on that.
Yeah, they could do could we be eligible for a TIF?
You had a big enough project, yeah.
That'd to be a big one.
Well, they got that new CHIP program, and that's where it's kind of like a tip, but it's for infrastructure. Where if you wanted to had somebody come in with a housing development, you know, you would apply for the CHIP program, and you know, you could get some of the deferred tax money up front to help out with the infrastructure.
Mhm. Hmm.
All that to say, I don't know if we agree on what we really want. That's probably the hardest thing. I think the job description that's in front of us is fine if that's what we want. If we want a grant writer, let's just hire a grant writer on an as needed basis. And LCPC does a boatload of grant administration for us because they get paid the grant.
Well, I think we'd need both because when we had the previous CEDS, there was an issue of like smaller grants, them feeling like they shouldn't be writing those smaller grants because it's not a huger project like that. But we still need that at the same time.
Definitely needs to be support person.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny, listening to you, Evan, it sounds like what I heard from Adrian for several years on the planning commission, we need a planner.
Hmm.
We need a planner. We need a 5-year plan. We need to lay out the roadmap and build all those elements, and then go find the money in the projects.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like we need both, because you can't make a 5-year plan overnight. We can't expect our committees not to do anything in the meantime.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got to support it with some passion, whether it's John's help with CDS or Big Borrow and Steel help from LCPC, I don't know, but we still have to write minor grants in the meantime.
What if we hire a grant writer and the first grant they look for is hiring a grant for a town planner? Like that's the only focus, and then they move on to other grants.
Works great for the first year.
What do you mean by that? I don't think it works at all in the first year if you don't get any grants in a year. So all you do is spend money. in a year.
Well, when you get the grant to hire a SEDS position, I don't know many grants for hiring people that are in perpetuity.
Yeah.
So that, you know, you might get lucky and find one that's 100%, 75%, 50%, 25%, but you're still adding cost to the taxpayers. You're just stretching it out if there was even a grant like that. No, it's not like a yearly grant program where they say SEDS. Now, a 40-hour a week interlocal community economic development specialist, I could get super behind.
Have they shown interest in that?
That's who?
The interlocal?
I mean, never asked. I don't think. We have an interlocal assessor. We're talking about interlocal kenneling agreements.
I want our person to be just focused on us.
That's fair.
I just worried we'd be.
If we have a part-time employee, are the odds pretty high that they're only focused on us, or are the odds somewhat there that they have another job as well?
Well, I want them to be full-time, so.
Fair enough.
with benefits. And
Sounds like we're not gonna approve this tonight.
I made
Unless
a
somebody
couple
wants to make a motion to approve it.
other.
No.
Well, I know, I got the request from Adrian there. She had some language, that she wanted changed. And I just wanted to hear from the board if there was any other.
Right, wrong, or indifferent. I don't feel like we provided any straightforward directive.
No.
If three members can get behind something, I would recommend providing some straight directive.
Mhm.
Now, was there ever a 5-year plan done for Johnson as far as what the people wanted to see? I mean, I did read a little bit about Imagine Johnson and some other programs, but I mean,
I mean, we have our town plan. Paul wrote that.
we have a town plan. You've seen that.
I think so.
That's on the website.
Isn't that done every 8 years?
I feel
Yeah, it used to be 6, now it's 8.
our town plan isn't really a plan though. I mean, it's kind of just like, it lists out some goals, but it's not like a plan.
No, it's not a plan. It's a bunch of different chapters on different topics and they all have recommendations and so forth in it.
Yeah.
A plan could be assembled from it,
Yeah.
but you have to do a lot of prioritization because there's 1,000 ideas in there.
I mean, do we have any options? If there's a piece of property in town, that if a business wanted to locate to Johnson, that we could work with them, that it would have, water, sewer, 3-phase power, something that's, the town could offer.
Hoping to.
Right.
This construction season.
What about the Telk property? I mean, is there anything up there that could be reused?
We only own 50% of it, but that's a brownfield. Right?
The state,
It's where the garage is, not where the 180 acres is.
Yeah, but that's a hill.
Pretty steep hillside.
There might be some portion around the snowmobile clubs. Well, shut there, that's somewhat flat. I don't know.
Well, we were talking to the college before about buying some land from them for housing or any kind of development. But those talks have kind of just
Well,
dissolved.
didn't I hear that the college is working on
Senior housing?
some kind of housing project up there and some housing?
Yeah, they're turning one of their buildings into senior housing.
And giving it over to a nonprofit.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's Down Street.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Down Street would be the owner, not the college.
Okay.
Yeah. But then the college is also talking about doing some housing in the parking lot of the art studio.
Soccer field park.
Up on top, up above the soccer
Yeah.
field.
Yeah.
They're gonna build a new building?
So, it's in the idea stage anyway.
That was in their presentation to the community. Talked about 2 up there.
Yeah. That with all the empty buildings they got up there.
Huh?
I've forgotten that with all the empty buildings they have up there.
A lot of them need to be torn to the ground.
Amazing, yeah.
I don't know if a
Well,
lot.
we get aligned on the CDS role.
A question in moving in that direction. Who's gonna market the sites in the industrial park?
Lemoyle Economic Development Corporation, as well as, I don't know, we haven't gotten there yet. I would say if they're subdivided and sellable, maybe able to highlight, it must be municipal real estate firm.
That, I guess what I'm wondering is if the CEDS has any role in that, if that needs to be factored into their workload. Going out, meeting with potential businesses and encouraging them to come. I don't know.
Potentially, yeah. Obviously, if we sell it, we don't have to pay the real estate agent, but they might sell quicker.
Who are the local representatives in the State House for our area? I mean, you know, if a
Dan
business,
Noyes.
if a business is talking about expanding or talking about relocating to Vermont, and you know, who could be somebody in Montpelier that would say, "Hey, come to Johnston. This is what we have."
Rich Westman.
Okay.
Yeah, Richie's blessed in the Senate.
Yeah, state
Dan
senator,
Noyes,
state representative.
And
Richard Bailey.
right, really in the House.
Once we get the industrial park up and going, or if we've identified another piece of property, you know, it might be worth having a conversation with them.
Yeah,
And,
for
you know,
sure.
does the state of Vermont have any kind of agency, you know, that would work with a business?
I think they're quite behind that project.
This doesn't help us zero in on anything,
Nope.
but
But I mean, we could read it up and mark it up, and I can make adjustments and get it ready for the next meeting.
I'm still traumatized by the fact that the community economic development specialist is not working under the direction of the town administrator. But I would love to see in the first paragraph, responsible for managing grants, projects, and working with municipal committees and the select board to support business. I would love to include the town administrator in that.
Yep.
First one.
And also in the next paragraph, collaboration with the select board, nonprofits, municipal committee members, the town administrator. And that will help me deal with the trauma.
Okay. I know when we talked about the organization chart at the previous meeting, they had the position reporting directly to the board. So that's what I thought with.
Right.
Yeah, and that was the decision that was made. So I'm just putting in a little dig, that's all.
No.
Just
No,
the
that's-
knife.
You know, that was my purpose of presenting it tonight was, you know, mark it up, tell me what you want to see, what you don't want to see, and we'll put together something hopefully for the next meeting the board can approve.
Well,
Sounds like we still need to chew on this.
yeah.
Unfortunately.
Paul, do you have anything that you want
I wrote a whole bunch of notes, but I didn't like any of them. Not really sure where to go with it, because I think it seems like we really do need to focus on a 5-year plan. And I don't know how this person fits into that exactly. Seems like that's maybe more of our job.
Us create a 5-year plan?
Hmm?
Us create a 5-year plan? Or what?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Just high level one.
Yeah, I don't see why we couldn't.
to, just what, yeah, I mean,
we'll be serious.
what's the vision for the town? What would you like to see upgraded,
Mhm.
you know?
I think
And
we could
then-
do that.
In my 5-year plan, these chairs are new.
Write that down.
Well, okay, so if we do the 5-year plan on our own, then that doesn't need to be worked on by them. It's just a guide for them, right?
Yeah, it would, to me, it would be the guide.
Yeah, we can't do a 5-year plan on our own. Making a 5-year plan is town-wide effort.
Okay,
Yeah.
If we just write it, then
I'm fine
Go
just
back
writing
to
it
our
myself.
projects and priorities list that we had.
Can we go back to it? Yeah, I think it's something we should reevaluate each.
Cause we we had scored sets things.
oh, we did the prioritization.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want me to add that for the March 19th meeting? I know you said the meeting before town meeting, we try to keep that schedule light.
Light as possible.
After town meeting day, we can revisit the
Okay.
prioritization.
Yeah.
You gonna have a
Next
meeting
priority
day after
system
town meeting?
there.
Huh?
Gonna have a meeting a day after town meeting?
Yes.
Is it the day after?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh,
Is that?
Now, we won't have a quorum of the board.
Who will be here? For what? For when?
Or I guess you'll swear them in. Cause there'll only be 2 returning members.
Who's not coming back?
Well, they all knew. It's just the same person.
What are you talking about?
Well, technically speaking, the day
Only you
after
two are
town,
coming back. Three of us will be new,
yeah,
assuming we get elected.
we won't be sworn in.
Oh,
No more
That's the
select
first
board.
thing we do.
Yeah,
yeah, that's the first thing we do. Yeah.
be fun if we didn't do it and then we couldn't make any decisions.
Wouldn't that be fun now? Yeah.
So you're thinking about, should it be just a grant writer or a CDS? Is that what the debate is for all of us?
My larger internal
Or
debate
a planner.
is, do we rethink the whole thing?
Do we rethink the whole thing?
The whole thing.
But yeah,
And maybe hire an assistant to the town administrator to deal with some other things and then plow it on top of the town administrator if he's willing. Or, some version of that.
is this what? Why? What?
Like if there's just administrative tasks that are, busy work. If there was somebody to take work off, this is just a random example here, okay?
Mhm.
If we could take some busy work off of John's plate and he was willing to take over some of the CEDS roles, and we could hire LCPC or a grant writer on an as needed basis. I don't know if a model like that would look better.
Mhm.
Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out.
No, I mean, and I know Mike talked to me about it and you and I talked about it. I did talk to Carl, he said his weeks have been averaging between 8 and 15 hours. And one of the things he noted was, if I took some of the groundwork from him and he didn't have to come up as much, he might be willing to stay on a little bit longer. So, I told him I'd be willing to do that if he needed.
I mean, it's funny because the report that Carrie Johnson did, there are certain things that I could not understand her recommendation on, but this wasn't really one of them.
Yeah.
And I talked to her at length about it. She said, you're too small of a community to need, an employee for community and economic development. You need to empower some of your existing employees to grow and do some of it, and then hire grant writers or planners on that needed basis. And contractual.
I don't remember what her recommendation was. Was that it? Or what is?
What her written recommendation was.
I think she just kept the CEDS role in there because we never asked her if we should have it or not have it.
The majority of her written portion, focused around just basically turning a town manager structure of government. And hire a fifth employee, that one.
Well, she didn't give any supporting evidence, really.
So we have kicked around that note at other times of an assistant to the town administrator.
I don't really know if there's enough busy work I don't. It's another random idea. If we're just gonna hire for sets, I'm fine with this job description. I understand there is a need to work with committees. My overall comment is I don't want the work for committees to drown out some long-term growth. Both, like you're saying.
Mhm. Yeah. And right now we're working with 24 hours a week.
I mean, we're working on a dollar amount. If it's less per hour, we could be working with 40, although. I don't know.
We could just do 38 if we didn't want to do benefits or whatever, but.
No, we're required to offer benefits at 24 hours.
Oh, really?
And full-time benefits is prorated at 30 hours. So really, from 30 hours to 40 hours, the only additional employee cost is just their hourly wage because we pay 100% of their benefits at 30 hours.
Oh, okay, so just full time's fine, okay.
Is that a state law or is that just a here thing?
Affordable Care Act,
Is that what it is?
where health insurance is 30 hours.
I think Maine was 32.
Yeah.
But
How'd that work? Our rec coordinator one year was 24 hours and got health insurance.
they paid it.
And
Full
the
portion.
assistant library, yeah, a portion prorated. The assistant librarian was 23.75 hours.
Didn't at a town meeting, though, the voters voted for a CEDS position?
For sure. Actually, two.
And was it
consecutive ones.
advisory or?
No,
Well, it was money, so it bound the voters to pay us money to do it.
So aren't we bound to have this position?
Not at all.
Or we're not bound to?
No. We're not. There's no statutory requirement from the state. We're bound to a dollar amount at the end of the day.
But we are asking the voters for permission to spend X amount of dollars on CDS positions.
Certainly don't things. Oops, you broke my glasses.
Must be getting late.
Must be.
Throwing things.
I'm not saying don't hire.
Yeah, you are. You're saying hire an assistant town administrator.
Well, could we sum it up in saying that I'm just trying to think if there is a way outside of the box to get the same services with a different structure, fine. If there's not, that's fine too.
Well, I guess, no offense, John, but I think the hiring process for town administrator would have gone differently for me if I knew we were hiring a grant writer, like, or, you know, like more of that side.
Fair enough.
So, not that I don't think you could do it, but
Right. I mean, I've done grants before.
yeah, I know. Yeah.
I think we're getting nowhere. Rosemary agrees with me.
it's time to go home.
Alright. Some more chew on? We all good?
Yeah,
We're good.
next time come with what you actually want.
Meeting adjourned at 9:30.